There we go, everyone. That is the trailer video for Amphibia Noir, which is now live on Kickstarter. Thank you all for joining us here today for the launch. I am the host, Kieran Jack, and we are joined by the creator himself, Mr. Logan French.
This guy right here.
So this is the launch for Amphibia Noir Part 2. It's been well over a year now since the launch of Part 1. So we're very excited to bring you the second part that Logan has been furiously working on in the background whilst we've been getting the campaign ready. And today is basically a bit of a live launch to kind of talk about the campaign itself and to have Logan on to talk about the project and where the story is heading after the success of the first Kickstarter and the response to the book. We thought, why not come back to Kickstarter to help get the funding for the book, to get it published and printed. And also, you know, with Kickstarter being the caliber it is now, that we can kind of pre-order around the world and, you know, get people that we may not see at conventions and so on and so forth. Logan, do you want to tell us a bit about the project for Part 2?
Well, Part 2, we're pretty much following on directly story-wise, so picking up pretty much where we left off with the main characters. Do I want to say too much or do I want to say too little? The project was really simple to start off with, and over the past year, as I've delved further and further into the characters and the plot, things are getting bigger, things are getting more twisted, things are getting a little more psychedelic. It's definitely a different beast to when I started. So, but it's the same characters, it's the same story, it's the same world that I've created in the first issue. And I can't wait to expand that out, to push it out to the bigger audience and have them sort of envelope themselves into this really gritty kind of underworld of a broken city, you know, and broken people, broken characters, and the things they do to survive.
Yeah, it's definitely more intense from what I've seen and read so far to the first chapter, and it seems like you've definitely upped the ante in the way of storytelling, and that's what excites me about this. That it doesn't slow down; it actually fastens up, but you still the pacing of the story is still that same consecutive motion, which is great. I have to apologize too. My voice is a bit shot today, so I sound like I've been smoking like 10 packages of cigarettes. I actually went to a My Chemical Romance show last night, so I'm quite. I was singing probably a bit too loud, trying to outdo Gerard Way, and I've shot my voice in the process. So if you're wondering why I sound like Lunch Lady Doris from The Simpsons, then that's why. We've been, in the background for the last year since the launch of the first one, kind of mulling over where we go from here and what we do. And the conversation with you, Logan, was that, you had the ante that you were going to step it up big time with this one. And from the page that, you're working on the pages as we speak right now, those pages that I've seen are phenomenal compared to what you originally did with the first one. Like, and that's not taking away anything from the first one. The first one was phenomenal. The second one, I think everyone's in for a real treat because, the response from the first one, and this is not just through Kickstarter, this is selling it at conventions as well. The response from people who have backed it on the Kickstarter have come up to the table and talked to us. They've been really exuberant about what they felt about the book. And that in itself is such a rewarding feeling for you and for me as well, because I'm happy to be able to guide this book into the world. And that to me says something about the series that you've created here, that it's got that longevity of readers who have thoroughly enjoyed that first part, and we've had to make them wait a whole year to get and they're going to have to wait for the third one, and there'll be another year's time in that as well. Just knows I've got something on my shirt. So yeah, I think the waiting part is worth it. I don't think we would want to rush this. I think we can kind of stick at that. And plus, I don't want to kill you with working at the board the whole time.
I mean, my back's killing me at the moment, but
the life of an artist, hey?
I know. You think it's going to be a little bit more glamorous, but you look at all these guys who have worked their way to the top, and you know the kind of pain they're feeling.
Yeah, there's definitely a lot of pain involved with this. Yeah, it's definitely not for the faint of heart. Creating these books I'm working on a graphic novel at the moment, and the caliber of work that's involved with them is quite extensive. It's time consuming. I know that you've taken some time off to get this book finished yourself, and to do that is a big thing in itself. But at the same time, I know how much you love doing this, so it's kind of it works hand in hand. You're getting time off work, but you're also working on the comic. So I mean, apart from the back, getting a sore back.
Taking time off work to do more work is how it's worked out. So
I remember doing that back in the early days as well. Yeah, and that's changed completely now. Look, I think the project that we've created here, that you've kind of come up with the concept and built it all out, and it's really, really entertaining for me to be able to watch it kind of come out and be perceived the way it has. And I think as the story continues to grow, that's what I think everyone will be looking forward to. Where is it going? What are you telling? I know with this book, it's a 60-page book, so it's quite extensively larger than what the first book was. And I think that's kind of is where the story will really start to captivate people from telling of the first one. Logan, I know it was a big effort asking to go to a 60-page jump, and again, you're doing it, but I said at the same time, it's going to be worth it when the readers really jump in and they get to see it.
Yeah. Look, it just means I got an extra 15 pages to explore the characters more. It does help storytelling wise to have those few extra pages. It's not like I was strapped to find information or have story to tell. It was all there. I didn't have to push myself. In a matter of fact, I actually had to cull it back a bit because it was starting to get into that flow, as you do, and before you know it, you're sort of pushing a few extra pages, and you're just like, nah, I got to cut this down. I got to shorten this part to make this a little bit faster, make that a little bit stronger, and push along in that sense. So it's been good. It's been really good working on that sort of scale.
Yeah, I guess that's the kind of thing when you are an indie creator, you kind of have to, and I'm bouncing back with me and talking about the story and stuff. When we look at it all as a whole, it's kind of like, where do we kind of cut the fat, and how do we compress this as a tighter story? And it's something I've had to learn, producing my own stuff, but also Brad's with Super RBA and now with Amphibia Noir, like actually going through it and properly reading it and going, okay, well, what do we need to tell, and what can we condense down in story wise, and it's a challenge. I'm learning more and more each time I do it that it's a challenge to kind of see what can we keep, what we don't want to keep, and I guess that's just all part of the process of creating comics. We just got to be really lenient on how we tell that story and in the amount of pages that we do have. I know personally, I've ran over page counts before, and it's you don't realize when you've written the script, and you kind of come back into like, oh Jesus, that's a lot of pages now I've got to draw. You're paying an artist the same thing. You've got to pay the artist to do the work. That is quite, that's why they keep most modern comics now are 24 to 28 pages. They're not extensively overzealous in that sense, and that's a good editor as well. So yeah, it'll come. It's a huge process. I don't think people realize sometimes what's the effort that goes into it when you're a solo show, but when you're doing it with a group, it's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah, it is. It's you're jumping around, shooting ideas here and there, and trying to work out. And everybody's got different tastes as well, so it that sort of comes into the factor a lot as well. So everybody has a different perspective, and you may have thought something was a good idea, and you throw it out there, and they're like, "Well, not sure about that," and that makes you rethink and analyze. So group dynamics can be a little bit more tedious, but a lot more fruitful. Working like that, because being able to bounce your ideas off other people makes a big difference when you're working on a project, especially of this size.
There's been a lot, like this week especially. It's been full on. We're just getting the campaign ready. 11th hour I was doing the video. We're still working on the variant cover at the moment. You've got page art. It's a huge process and a build up to that. I mean, we've been working on in the background with this campaign for probably the last 3 months of getting everything sorted and ready. And then, it comes into the month beforehand, we're putting out social media posts. The process that goes behind that, I think now is quite considerable compared to what it used to be. And what I'm finding is that it's not a month campaign. It's it's the pre-launch, which is a month. You've got yourself who's working on the artwork in the background. You've got the campaign running, and then you've also got the wind down from it, and which is preparing everything. So you reach your target goal, you reach your funding goal, you get some extra goals unlocked. There's all that process now. You get the book ready for print. You've got to get all your items ready, whether it's digital or physical. It's a big job. So it's about a 3-month process when we're looking at creating a Kickstarter.
At least.
Yeah, and creating the comic itself is 6 to 12 months in, and where we're going now with our releases, they're all in graphic novel format. They're not single issues. I think we've got about 3 more comics that'll be single issues, which is one of them Super RBA and one of them's for In Purgatory, and those are going to be the last of it, really. And we're not going to find that format anymore. And going to graphic novel format, I'm finding it's a lot more. It's an easier sell because people see it as a contained story, and I think it's part of the nature of the beast at the moment. It's going to change. Looking at the spectrum of it all. It's quite interesting going, because yours was the first ever graphic novel we'd ever produced when we did the Amphibia Noir 1, and kind of looking at that now, it was a great success. We've gone ahead and done part 2, and in the future we've got a few more planned.
Indeed,
hopefully.
we do.
I'm still provided a number. Yeah, I'm still waiting on the number of how many books we're doing, but I mean. And there's a project in there for you that I've just put forward to you, so we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I
know. So look, it's definitely exciting. I'm excited to have it, officially launched today. People who are watching, if you can go and check it out, that's important too. We need to, raise our funds to get the book produced and get it published. But before we do, we'll go any further. We might jump into the actual Kickstarter campaign and talk about the overall campaign. Maybe we can see some of the artwork that we've got happening over there. I don't know why that's a black screen, but I will bring us back into it.
There we are.
There we go. All right. I don't know why it's a black screen. All right. So we've just watched the video before, but the actual campaign itself, if you can see that. So Amphibia Noir keeps up the quick pace and it takes off from part 1. Left us delving deeper into the political pot and pushing our crew to new extremes. Thick with character development and world-building scenarios, this juicy edition will have you plunging through the moist streets of Amphibia Noir. It's a little blurb about the story itself. Then we've got the amazing artwork that Logan has created for this one, which is a wraparound cover, which we'll see later on down in the page. But I know we'll talk a little bit about that cover. So originally the cover that you presented wasn't rejected, but it was, I thought we needed something a bit more vibrant,
colorful,
and a bit more,
yeah.
And and that's, I think that's part of my role as an editor and producer, is kind of like making sure that we're getting the best out of everything we're doing. And you went back, I think you were a bit hesitant at the start to like, don't get me wrong, the cover was great. I was like, I just feel we need to be like pushing it a bit harder. And you went back and you presented this cover, and I was just like, holy crap, that's the cover. Like, yes, I'm glad I pushed you to go and do that, because that was like getting you to across the line to do this is just like, holy. And the comments we've had from this cover as well have been fantastic. Like, everyone has responded really well to this cover. Not that they wouldn't have with the other cover. It was a great teaser. I think that was the great thing about that cover. It was a teaser to what was coming, and it was violent. It was perfectly on brand. But this just fucking knocked it out of the park. Obviously, and you can tell because I just swore. I don't usually swear like
that. It was something that was designed to catch the eye, which,
and it definitely does that.
That was the plan. So,
yeah,
I'm pretty proud.
No,
it turned out well.
You should be. It's a fantastic. It's a fantastic design, and I'm still finding bits and pieces in it, like I said to you the other day, and I'm not going to spoil it for anyone. You can see it when you get the printed or digital copy yourself. So talk a bit about the story, Logan, for this one.
So the story, we have our group of ruffians have finished up their little incident for a local disagreement on where a particular package will be sent to after they found out what the package was. We follow on to find out that the suicide that happened in the first book is being investigated, and we follow the boss going to the crime scene at the start of the book there. And then we also have Klieg and DM relaxing, essentially trying to de-stress from the amount of impact that they had to deal with during the last showdown, only to have DM start to get a little bit worried about the boss, because the boss hadn't come back for a while. And from there, it sort of just, it rabbit holes. It goes into some pretty deep areas. There will be a lot of drug use. There will be a lot of violence in the sense of torture. So there'll be a little bit of body horror and stuff in there. So trigger warning to anybody who may be a little bit sensitive to that sort of stuff. This book is not for the general faint of heart. It is going to be a little bit more gruesome than the first one for a brief period. But the story is definitely going to roll out a lot. We're going to find out a lot more about DM's personality and who they are. We're going to find out a couple of little teaser secrets to the boss and who he is. And Klieg's just going to sit in the background and comment on everybody's behavior as he does. But we'll get to see everybody in plain clothes, performing in streets, interacting with other people. It's going to be a very slightly differently paced book to the first one. as there's going to be a lot more conversation and interaction. I'm expanding on the language repertoire. So at this rate, I may have to put some sort of glossary in the back of the book, because the way they talk is not the slang they use is very unusual, and I don't want people to be missing out on inside jokes and stuff. As I'm sort of tapping away, having a bit of a giggle to myself, I'm like, nobody's going to get this. So
I think we all do that, Logan. Yeah,
I know, but it's going to be a fair few jokes in there to have a bit of fun. But the action's going to be intense. It's going to be vibrant. It's going to be beautiful.
Yeah.
So
I think that's generally what we go for as creators. We try to create that humor that we might get, and then other people might not. But then you find out that people have caught the joke, or they have understood where you're going with it. And I think that's a great part about what we do, is we can have as much fun as we want, and kind of relates to people in there at the end of it all. So yes, I won't give me more about that story, because I think we're giving too much away from that. But I definitely need to consider a warning for our book, perhaps. I didn't think about the first one. I was like, oh, probably should put a warning in there. I mean, most people that come to the table at conventions, they see the blood and they kind of realize what it is. But
look, the covers seem to give people an idea of what the inside's going to be. I mean, the cover of the first one was definitely a warning in itself. If this is not your taste in things, then I suggest you walk away.
Well, I mean, it's pretty vulgar if you're not used to that kind of imagery. But I mean, comparing this cover is amazing. I love this cover. I love the brutality in it. But then you see them side by side, and it's just like, wow, yeah. This is different. Definitely, it's so different, but it's still within the world of your illustrations. I mean, the comment I did go is like, the color in this is fantastic. And I am so glad that I pushed you to do color. I know it's called Noir. I know Noir is black, but I am. Look at that. I mean, I am so happy I pushed you to do color in that, because it's a completely different story when it's colored. And looking at this one now, we'll jump down now into the actual preview that you've given us. What am I doing there? There we go. So this is some of the page previews that you've been working on, and they completely knocked me out when I saw these originally. I was like, it's just the next level. Number one was phenomenal, and your art is phenomenal, but you just stepped it up a notch for this one, and it's just like, holy crap. Is this sorry, did you draw this?
It's clearly drawn by me, but the coloring is I've definitely taken it up quite a few notches, and my poor computer is stressing the hell out, as each page seems to be breaking close to 150 layers. So it's
I was gonna say I'd hate to look at your Clip Studio files. I know for me it was painful when you sent me through the first book, and I was going through the Clip Studio files, and I was trying to. I think it was you left all the line your guides around, so I had to turn off all the guides when I was saving out the final art. And I just saw your layers, and I'm just like, oh my god, I can't do this. How do you work like that?
Half the time it's just bouncing up and down, trying to guess which layer is which. I use the little switch layer on and off a lot to work out where I'm at. But I've actually gone into foldering now, so each frame has its own folder. So I've actually sort of organized that a bit more, and name that, and it makes it a little bit easier to get around. That first one was a complete mess. It was my first time coloring anything.
Look,
really.
I think I've got a pretty good computer, but even my computer was chugging when it saw the file format. So I can't imagine what these files are like. I'm glad you've learned from that, because I'm getting TIFFs now instead of full-fledged files. I
find they translate a bit better in the TIFF, because it compresses all the layers together.
Yeah. I mean, again, your artwork speaks in volume here. It's just completely gobsmacking to me, and I think you've really taken it up a notch with this campaign and with this book. So I'm excited to see where it goes further. I've seen a few more pages that you're working on, and it's quite impressive. So that's a bit of a preview. So if when you go on the Kickstarter, you want to have a further look at that, you can check it out. But we'll go into the rewards now. So we've got a few rewards on offer for this one, which is exciting. We've got a few rewards returning from the first campaign because they were received so well. So you've got your likes of the digital reward. But actually, before we go any further, with all our rewards this time around, when you pre-order, when you back this campaign, you will receive 2 other digital comics, one of them being The Talking Bread issue 1, and the second one we're still working on what we're going to be giving away, but you'll receive 2 free digital comics with all rewards, and I will be putting that up on the campaign after this today. But you also receive Amphibia Noir digital copy with all physical rewards. So you'll receive digital copies with your physical rewards as well. It's something we've been working on in the background with the last campaigns with what we've learnt, and we've kind of changed it up now. So that's how we're kind of be running it now. Digital rewards, you still get your digital copies with what you pledge towards, but that's how we're going to be running it from now on in. So yeah, with these rewards, we've got a few things on offer for this one. Again, Logan has put forward the zine copy of the Amphibia Noir Ash Can that he originally created, which was basically the pitch that I got to see when I said, let's do this as a trade or a graphic novel format with Halftone Productions. So you'll get that as a digital copy, and you also get Amphibia Noir Part 2 digital copy. $10, you get 2 comics. Technically, you get 4 because you'll get 2 free comics, digital comics as well upon backing. Excuse me. We've got the $25 reward, which is the physical copy of Amphibia Noir. It's available worldwide, including shipping, which shipping costs are all included into the Kickstarters. They're not taken out afterwards. It's a part of the Kickstarter cost. Now, just keep that in mind. Shipping has gone up, unfortunately, because of the inflation in the world, and it has cost us. We have been caught before with our shipping, and we would like to try and avoid that this time around. So we've been able to properly calculate this and get it right for all our backers, and also making sure that our rewards get there safely. I actually had a comment come through recently with one of our rewards for Talking Bread, and they actually said that our rewards were packed better than what Amazon packed theirs. So that's something to take in our stride.
Yeah. Got to be happy with that.
Yeah. Well, after all the amount of time we spend packing, we should. So tier 3 is the digital bundle for Amphibia Noir. So you'll receive part 1, part 2, and you'll receive the Ash Can edition. So this is a really cool reward if you're new to Amphibia Noir and you're interested in it but without having physical copies. You get basically all the Amphibia Noir goodness in one digital bundle. So in each of our campaigns that we normally do, we either do enamel pins or stickers. We have a bit of fun with what we're doing. And this time around, last campaign, we did a enamel pin for the boss. So this time we're doing a sticker pack. I love stickers. I love pins. I love little collectibles that I can keep with any campaign, really. I've backed a lot of Kickstarters here where I get those kind of things, and I think they're really cool. And this is no different. So Logan has created the character art for 2 of the stickers, and we've got the logo as a 3rd sticker. So it'll be a sticker pack that you will get with your comic book if you choose that tier. Below that, we've got the reward, which includes the enamel pin from the first campaign. We still have some of those left, so I thought we'd put those into this campaign too. And so you'll get the boss pin, and you'll get a copy of Amphibia Noir. And that does come, both these bundles do come with a digital copy of Amphibia Noir too, which is explained on the side here. You'll see that when you go into here. Right, so we've got a few other ones. What is it? Oh, I'm using the wrong screen. Too many screens open. So tier 6 is the this one is actually really popular from the last campaign, but it actually includes 2 other works of Logan's that he's been producing over the years as zines. Do you just want to give a quick rundown on those so the listeners can know what they're getting into there?
Okay. Let's see. Tufu is probably it's the first title that I did as a comic book artist and writer, and it's just as crazy as everything else I do, if not more. It's pretty nonsensical and full of lots of action and craziness, and it also has one of my most iconic characters that a lot of people seem to pick up on. So Tufu himself is quite a visual guideline for a lot of the work I do. Black Star Sentry is a story about 2 friends that are meeting up again after finishing magical school and doing their traineeships, and they're both placed back in the same town to provide protection. It's pretty nutty. It's kind of weird. It's just about 2 people catching up again after years of being apart and being really good friends, and trouble ensues, of course, because it's me, and there's magic involved, and both of these comics actually take place in the same universe, as do quite a few of my other stories that I'm still working on the side. Amphibia Noir are completely separate, but these ones do all tie in together at some point. So if you want to get your hands on, I'm going to say over 120 pages worth of comic in there. There's quite a lot of comic in there, which is quite enjoyable.
Quite enjoyable. Absolutely.
Sorry, there's 4 issues of Black Star Sentry too.
All right, well, that's something I'll fix up in the next part. That's
right.
Okay, so there you go, guys. Check out that one. That's I'll amend that. But yeah, so that you get a little bit of the background from Logan's work in the past, which is really exciting, and you also get Amphibia Noir part 2. Now we've got the digital bundle for Amphibia Noir, which includes both part 1 and part 2, and you also get a selected collection of titles from Halftone Productions, so including Super RBA from Bradley Aiden. You've got In Purgatory by myself, and then you've got The Apparition as well, which is more recently released. And then we've got the Rise the Talking Brad, which actually features Logan and Brad's work in there, along with 12 other Australian creators. And so what with this one is that it's not the complete collection of Halftone Productions, because we've grown quite a lot over the years, and we've got a lot more books now, and it's kind of creating a bundle that kind of gives you an enticement into what we do with our comics if you're interested in checking out our comics digitally, but you get a selection of titles from the Halftone catalog, and it keeps it reasonably priced as well. So that's a bundle for anyone that's interested in picking up all the books. Then we've got we kind of jump into our higher tier rewards here. Now we've got the $100 bundle, which includes the basically it's the Amphibia Noir loot bundle. You get quite a bit. So in this bundle, you get part 1 and part 2. You get the sticker pack. You get the enamel pin. You get the ash can edition. You also get, and this is exclusive to our high tier rewards only, you get a storyboard script. So this is a storyboard that Logan has concocted. It's different to a script because Logan works in a different way. He does the illustrations first, then works the script around it. So that's how it's kind of working for this one. This is going to be a hybrid. We've never done this before, so it's kind of, we'll see how this goes, and if it's successful, kind of we'll start looking at that more and more. But rather than do a script, which we did last time, we thought we'd do a storyboard script. We talked about it, both of us did, Logan, and I'm excited to see how this one plays out, because I think this is going to be something really cool.
Look, it definitely, I think it gives people a real glimpse into how people work, because not everybody works off scripts, not everybody works the same way, and this just gives people an idea that you don't have to follow the standard norms. You can work pretty much how you like, and working on that storyboard script kind of way of doing things, I get to edit on the fly a lot more. It allows me to have a lot more control over the paneling, the flow of the story, and the angles of the artwork. So I don't know, it suits me. So I'd like to be able to present that to people to see, a little doorway into how I operate.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's really cool. I actually can't wait to see how it turns out. Then we have got the Halftone Productions collection, which is the physical collection of books. So you'll get, obviously, Amphibia Noir Part 1 and Part 2, and you'll receive the same comics from the digital one we're talking about for Super RBA, In Purgatory, The Apparition, and Rise of the Talking Brett, which is a nifty little bundle. And then below that, we have got which I think it was a popular one last time too. It includes the loot from Amphibia Noir, and you also get a customized sketch from the artist himself. I think we had a few of those in the last campaign, and they were received really well.
Yeah, I think it was about 3.
Yeah. And that's really cool to see that again. You get an Amphibia Noir personalized sketch from Logan, and it's something that you probably wouldn't be able to get outside of the campaign. We try to make these things exclusive, just remember, and have a bit of fun with it in the process. So that's a really cool tier to pick up. And then finally, we've got the big 2 here. These are whoppers. So for tier 11, this is a featured cameo in book 2. Now, I have taken the cameo from part 1 because you're still working on the book at the moment, Logan, just as an example of how it works. But you receive the loot from, at least said the apparition, then you get to receive the loot from Amphibia Noir. So your pins, stickers, books, the storyboard scripts, but you also will receive a personalized illustration of yourself within the book, illustrated by Logan. And it's a cameo. Basically, you're receiving a cameo feature within our story. We've done this previously in our other books, and they've been received quite well. And people enjoyed having themselves drawn into a comic. So that's a really cool bundle. We've only got one of those, so just remember, if you wanted to jump on that, I would jump on that quickly, because it does usually go quickly. And then finally, we've got the big one. This is a new one that we've never done before. So Amphibia Noir is our guinea pig here. It's been done a few times, I know, on people that we know who have done Kickstarter campaigns. They've done these kind of things, and they've been really successful. So again, this is a hybrid for us. We're going to try something different. This is the create your own cover bundle. So with this, you receive all the you receive the entire Amphibia Noir loot collection from the previous bundles, which includes stickers, the pin, the storyboard script, the ash can, and part 1 and part 2 of Amphibia Noir physical and digital copies. But this one, you will work with Logan to create your own personalized Amphibia Noir cover. And in that cover, you will receive 10 copies for yourself to either sell or keep. And they'll be printed exclusively for you, and that's it. It's up to you how it kind of plays out, but you'll be talking to Logan, and you'll be kind of working with him on creating a really cool cover that is one of a kind. Basically, once you've got it, that's it. It's not going to be reproduced. It's your personal. So you get to work with the man himself and create your own personalized cover, which is a scary notion, but it's also very cool. It's the first time we've ever done it, so we're really interested to see how that kind of plays out. And you'll have some copies for yourself as well, or you can give to your friends, whatever it may be. There's only one of those. That's a one-time offer. That's not something we're opening up for everyone to use, because it's quite time-consuming, and we want to make sure that it's whoever gets it it gets a really good product out of at the end game. And we've friends of ours have done it, and it's been phenomenal. So I'm really looking forward to seeing what happens if that gets picked up.
Great.
We've got some exactly. It's something different we haven't done before, and we always try and do something different in each campaign. I've just noticed we've got doubles up here. That's great. I'll go here. So add-ons. Again, you can tell we're doing this on the 11th hour. So we've got a few add-ons here. So you can, when you've selected your bundle, you can go in and choose a reward to pick up. We've got Amphibia Noir, the ash can, where you can pick up the ash can on top of your reward if you want to grab another copy for a friend, or you want to grab a copy for yourself if it wasn't in the bundle you're looking at. These are basically based off stuff that if it's not in your bundle you want, or you want to get a second one, jump in and do that. Sticker pack, the enamel pin, we've got part 2. There is a variant cover in the works. It should be up by Monday. It was been a bit of a scramble to get that organized, but we're on it. And you can part 1 as well is included there. So you can add those on in the aftermath when you've selected your reward. There will be another tier coming out for this one. Again, we're just scrambling to get the cover finished. And once that's ready, we'll pop that up. That's the same thing again, so I need to edit that. Then we have our stretch goals. So stretch goals this time around, we're doing a little bit differently. So upon our success of this campaign, there will be rewards that will be opened up for everyone as a bit of a thank you for doing that. But we do have other goals that we want to achieve. So we've got the 2,500 goal where we'll open that up upon success of our campaign. And then we've got other tiers. We do have tiers lined up if we go beyond this, but for the time being, we're just leaving this. We do also have, we reach 100 backers, there is an award. And the ideas we've got for these are actually really cool. So we're really hoping we can unlock these this time around. I think we unlocked 2 last time from memory. So hopefully we can unlock as many as possible, because there's some really cool things we've got planned for this. You get a little beat down of the characters of there, and then you've got some dorky guys here that are part of the campaign and been working on it all. We'll skip that because we don't need to go through that. Project timeline. So campaign kickoff today, obviously, and then we jump into the bit of a breakdown on how it all plays out. So you've got your campaign finishing, then it goes into production and what we're doing. The book's getting finished, surveys are getting sent out, where we're getting printing organized, and then we jump into the rewards being sent out. And so hopefully the target goal is by end of May, you'll have your copies physical or digitally in your pocket, or in your hands, not your pocket. You'll have them in your hands.
Unless you've got really big pockets.
Well, I was going to say, I don't know why you put a graphic novel in your pocket. So yeah, we try and make it as clear as possible how it all works with the project timeline. Again, funding, you get a breakdown of all the funding costs and all that. Shipping, shipping's pretty straightforward. We'll pack it all correctly. We don't like to see any products get damaged in process or lost, and we're happy to accommodate if someone loses their reward in the mail. But it can happen from time to time, and shipping is all over the place at the moment. So again, we've catered that in our costings, but we've also the time frames we've set aren't really concrete. They're hopefully guides to when the books will arrive. I recently, for example, I had a shipment arrive in the US before it arrived in, I think it was Queensland. And I don't know how that works, but apparently the shipping across to America is quicker. But then again, I sent something to Florida and it ended up being 6 months later. So you don't know. It's just a matter of, where your order's placed and what time in the world it's placed at. And there's some other stuff down the below. The idea of the Kickstarter campaign is to get the word out. The more we raise, the more you get. That's the idea behind it. Yes, you are helping us getting this printed and produced, because creating these things is quite costly. But the idea is that the more that we get, the more that you get. So if we can unlock those stretch goals, there was stuff there for you guys that is included into the Amphibia Noir world, and you will get extra bonuses on that. So with Kickstarter, remember, you don't pay upfront. The money is collected after the campaign is completed and we've hit our target funding or above that. So don't stress about you need to pay for it today. It's actually at the end of the campaign. So this campaign is a 40-day campaign. So in the 40 days after when the campaign finishes, the payment will be taken out then. If you've got any questions in regards to past this today, please, Logan and myself will be readily available to answer any questions on the Kickstarter page or on our social media networks if you'd like to check us out there. But yeah, the more you guys talk about this on social media, the more you recommend it to people. If you're returning from part 1 and you loved it, please share it around with all your friends. The more we share it, the more we raise, the more you get. That's the idea behind it. And then, yeah, just the shipping, just take a note that it could change. Shipping is fluctuating all the time. So we've got to be very patient, and please understand that once it leaves our studio, it's really out of our hands. Like for tracking wise and all that, we can keep an eye on it, but it's really out of our hands. It's more to the postie services where they send it and how they do it.
Yeah.
And then just some risks and challenges with this. So this will be ready and ordered by the success of this campaign. Logan is currently churning away the pages. He's working like a machine to get the book finished. So we're looking at I've got to change it, mid to late April before we go to print. Print doesn't take long. We're looking at about a 7-day turnaround for printing, and then once the items are in our hands, we'll be able to get them out to you as quickly as possible. So yeah, May will be the start of May will be when we'll hitting our shipping goals. The only thing that we can really say on that is manufacturing delays. So the things like the stickers and paper stock, but we try and get in advance with our printers and producers to kind of let them know this is coming in a month in advance. So stuff like that is like we kind of preempt that. After doing this many campaigns, we're kind of ahead of the curve in that sense. We try to make sure that all our ducks in a row so that we don't have any issues later on down the track. And yeah, that basically wraps it up. There will be some more stuff going on there as the campaign grows. We've got some more page art to put up. I've saw a couple of things I need to change now, and I'll be going back and editing them now. But yeah, that's the overall campaign. That's everything behind Amphibia Noir Part 2 for the Kickstarter. It looks phenomenal. The artwork speaks for itself, guys. It's just Logan's just knocked out of the park yet again for Part 2. And I myself am excited to read in physical. I love physical format comics, so I'm going to be really amped up to read this when it's printed, especially on the paper stock like we had for Part 1.
Well, this is the thing. I was really taken by how it turned out in the end.
Yeah.
I was really happy.
Yeah.
Exactly what I wanted.
Exactly. And I think this will be no less the exception. I think that you've created something very special here, and looking at these pages, it's just like, yeah, I can't wait. But it's exciting. It's, Kickstarter campaign. We've got 2 backers so far, which is exciting. And that's always great to see people jumping on board. It's still early days. Again, this is a 40-day campaign, so we've got plenty of time to reach our target goal, and with any luck, we'll do that and we'll be on our way. Look, this has been great to be able to do this. My voice is absolutely my voice is wrecked. I blame My Chemical Romance from singing too loud, but I think it's my own fault for trying to sing as loud as they do. I'll jump out of that. I don't do that anymore. But yeah, that's the overall campaign for Kickstarter, guys. And I'm excited to see where this goes. I cannot wait to get this book finished and get it out to the masses. Logan, have you got any finishing words before we wrap this up?
Not too much. You can jump on my socials if you want to keep track of where I am with the book and what kind of artwork I'm putting out at the time. Or if you want to message me, you're more than welcome to. I'm on there most days, be it Instagram, Twitter, or Facebook. So yeah, that's about it. I don't have
go and
much
check
else.
out his. Yeah, go and check out his stuff because he's got some impressive. He's doing artwork today for Amphibia Noir. He's posted stuff I saw just on social media before when I was posting links, and you just like smashing work out like little thumbnails of like work you're doing, and it's like, god damn, it's cool.
Yeah. Oh, well, I treat myself every time I finish up a page or something. I do a little side sketch just to clean the palette out a little bit, and then get back to it. So
there you go.
Which is why I'm posting sort of once or twice a day at least.
Yeah.
Little sketches and stuff like that.
Awesome. That's really cool. Guys, go and check out his social media handles. And also go and check out the Kickstarter and back this campaign. We really want to get this funded now as soon as possible so it can get into production. This has been great to be able to kind of talk about the project. I hope everyone listening has been able to take something from it. And kind of go and check out the campaign. It's really important we can get that funded, and it'd be really great to be able to get more some of the ideas we've got created for it, which would be really cool. Hoping we can do that, Logan. But yeah, no. Sorry, you gonna say?
I was just saying extra bits. It's nice to have those little extra bits.
Yeah, we got those. We had a few of them last campaign. I think that they were received again. They were really received, but I think this time we've kind of stepped up the ante big time on both rewards and stretch goals and how we can kind of push the boundaries in what we do. So I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. But again, guys, thank you very much for joining in for the Amphibia Noir Part 2 Kickstarter launch. We've been really excited to be able to present this to you finally. It's been a lot of work to get it here, and we're excited to see where it goes. So please go check out the campaign, support it if you can, share it if you can. It makes all the difference to getting this campaign funded. Again, I am Kieran Jack, and that is
Logan.
That one. And we'll see you again on Halftone Productions Presents. See ya.
Bye.